and welcome in, everyone. Before we get into this evening's live, first I would like to thank everybody. I'll wait a second before I get deeply involved because it does take a second for my stuff to get pushed through YouTube, and I just like to make sure everybody has a chance to come in if they want to be here. Also, it'll allow me to take a chance to see how if the live is set up the way it's supposed to be, which it is. And then I get to share this for a sec. But if you're here right now, or if you're here after the live, just please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube does have a chance to recommend this to other people. It keeps you in the algorithm. So when I do future lives, by being in the algorithm, they'll at least alert you, supposedly, that I'm live. So that would be something you could do. But other than that, we have a lot to talk about. I'm a little pressed today for time. That's why I came on earlier. I have the 18-year-old and the 11-year-old. They both have orchestra concerts in the same venue. Scarlett, the 11-year-old, is opening the orchestra concert. It's her first year. And Michaela, she's a senior and graduating this year. Her class, or the 12th graders, or at least they're part of it, will be closing out the orchestra concert. So it's pretty surreal to see the younger and the older. And I remember Michaela 4 years ago when she was in the same spot as Scarlett. So it's bittersweet to see her graduating. It's kind of weird to have the 18-year-old in the house. But at the same time, it's surreal to see how far, the kids come and things like that. So it's that's something I got to go to at 7, but I got to leave here at about 6 because they obviously got to get there a little early. And then I want to eat dinner around 5:30. I'll probably do this until about 5:15. And then I'll probably have to call it a day and get some dinner and stuff like that. It's going absolutely too quickly. The world just spins too quick, and I wish it would slow down, especially for the kids. You see them get a little bit older, and then they become a lot older, and it's like, wow, I don't know where the time went. But with that being said, crypto, we're looking pretty good today. DGB is making me look like a real genius, adding in 400,000 tokens at 8.0084, and then just expanding my holdings instead of, I was going to buy other things, but I have such a strong pull to DGB because I can see the chart. I know how beaten up it is, and it makes me feel really happy today that DGB is up 12.3% when most of the market was struggling for the most part. Ethereum got on a bender here in the last half of the day, which is freaking amazing. Bitcoin this morning, it looked like it could get shot out of a cannon, and it's starting to slightly. It's back testing the move up as we speak. But with that being said, good evening. 4:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, May 13th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire with the side bet on XM and Future Digibyte OG, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Oh, the Earth doesn't spin. Hold on a sec. Look at that. The Earth was spinning when I was going in a circle. So what I'm saying is time just spins too fast is what I'm saying. Joke from me to you, Mr. Euler, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XRP Meteor, along with the Fine Group, and let's see. I think those are the two that I see in Tom's Army right now for 3+ months. I see a few people that are in Tom's Army already. The Gatmen's in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. JIOV in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the Diamond Hands badge. I seen, let's see. Trading with J-Ride in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the XRP Diamond Hands as well badge. I really appreciate that. I want to go into my phone because I seen somebody in 2 years and it passed so quickly that I missed it. I didn't want to miss it, but I missed it. Let's see. Mosey here. Thank you so much for being in Tom's Army as well for, where's Mo? I know he's been in for, where's Mo? For over 1 year, I think, with Mo with the I Told You So badge. Mark Caston, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. The Gatman, thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moon badge. Says XRP Healthcare back testing for a big move. It sure is. It sure is. We'll go over that. John London, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the Diamond Hands badge. Will Rob, good evening. John Hall, my brother, welcome in. You and Will Rob, good to see you both in here. Chuck Wheezy, good evening. Syrian, welcome in, and thanks for being a very trusted mind and being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XP Predictor. There's Mo and Tom's on for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Daytona, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 2+ months, or your second month with Dusty Dollars Crypto News. Big Dog, welcome in and thanks for being in your first month in Tom's Army with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. And I know it's your first month because that's my face superimposed on there, I kid you not. Jennifer Kupiak, welcome in. I hope you're having a blessed day so far, and I hope the animals are treating you well. Let's see. Big Dog, already got to you. Eddie, welcome in. Bivak, welcome. James Zula, good evening, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3 months plus with the XP Meteor along with Aaron R. And Crazy Paul, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XP Predictor. Work calls. I'm here partially. I'm on and off work calls. Oh, I gotcha. I appreciate you tuning in, Jennifer, and I know you're happy today because DGB is outperforming the market by a pretty wide margin. The only one that's, we've got like IOTA up 4.9%, Ethereum's up 7.5%, but when you go across the board, you don't really have anything up more than 1 or 2%. ZBOX down 5%. You've got DAG up 17%, which is fantastic. Another one that's theoretically outperforming the market right now. I think Alchemy Pay is getting ready for a rather significant, rather big move here as well. I would not be surprised to see this up 17%. At least for now, I've got like 25,000 tokens or so. Maybe a minor leverage trade. I don't want to go into details, but that is what it is. I've upped my holdings of XDC up to 40,000 tokens now. So I do think XDC is lining up for a pretty big move as well. So I'm pretty excited about where we're at right now. MXC is definitely on the back test. It had a nice little surge up, and now it's back testing. And remember, we like to follow the Ethereum style, and it looks like we are, in fact, starting to back test this because we started around the bottom. So now you're probably going to come down. I mean, it's pretty close, 11367 area. If that doesn't hold, you could always come all the way back down and back test, but at a certain layer here, this is going to have to get hot one way or the other. And it's pretty tricky right now. I'm going to let that play out a little bit longer before I go even deeper into that chart. But it is definitely getting tricky. And I did what we talked about with precious metals. I let them come down that one more layer. Pan America was down 16.5% yesterday. So I was able to... I reinvested in my commodities, but they ended up being 10 to 20% cheaper. And then I took that and I had $5,000 or $6,000 surplus from the differential. So I took 3,000 of it and finished off my 2025 contribution for my IRA, because you can do 7,000 a year to write it off. And I did it last year, and I'm doing it again this year. So I finished off the contribution and added to my emerging market funds. Which now is like 14,000 of my own money in it from 2 different contribution years. But I was able to add 1,000 of B2 gold. I was able to add a little bit extra Pan America silver. I think another 80 tokens or 80 shares. Fortuna is pretty close to where it was at. Same thing with First Majestic. I was able to expand though, and B2 and Pan America with those big dumps. Probably a little bit more of everything, but I was able to top off my contribution without having to throw any more of my money out of my savings or anything. And then I still have a few thousand left on hand. So I'm not greedy. Like I said, I'm not waiting for the bear bottom move. I was waiting for something to happen. I was looking for that 20 to 25%. We got it. And I took advantage of it. It's just that simple. I'm not looking, if it falls down 30%, I'm okay with it. Now, I just was looking to reposition a little bit so that I could do some things strategically. So I'm pretty happy about how that panned out. I was doing it in real time. So that's just what I did today in reaccumulating certain things. B2 Gold ended up down this morning. So I took advantage of that when it was in the negative. And Pan America yesterday was just too good of a deal. And then this morning it was still struggling. And it very well could come down one more layer. But, you know, I'm not looking to do anything special there, because I don't think we've even started this run yet for mining stocks. I seen a once in a 6-month opportunity where everything was lining up. But anyhow, any other good buys in crypto? I think XDC is a great buy right now, especially with it rounding this inverse head and shoulder. I think it's just a matter of time until this comes up to 13, 14. I think in the very near future, we're going to be sitting here and I'm going to be talking about how we're already up 35% or 30% on XDC from when they put it on BITUNIX, which is spectacular. So if you're looking for XDC, I highly encourage you. It's in my video description below of this very live. I encourage you, join BITUNIX. I just encourage you to do it. Lowest spot and leverage trading fees. They don't require KYC or VPN worldwide. They never got rid of XRP, even in the times of the lawsuit. So, I mean, there's a certain level of grace that I'll give somebody now, and I'll show them the support because they never got rid of what we needed. They've got IOTA, they've got HBAR, they've got Algo, they've got XLM, they've got XDC. The only real one they don't have that I wish they had was DGB. I wish they had DGB, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. And I'm a beggar because I don't own an exchange, so I've got to rely on somebody else. But I'm also going to put BITUNIX in here real quick, and I'll pin it in case you guys are interested in taking a look at that. It's also back in the Google Play Store. You can get it in the App Store, so you don't have to go through any hoops. You just click the link and it'll pop up. But I highly encourage you. I lost so much money in the bear market. I mean, in the bull market of 21 because I didn't understand the exchanges and that there was actually other opportunities out there to where I could not get roped on swing trading and or just selling my stuff. I expanded my bag of ZIL. I don't know how many of you know, but I'm up to 232,200, up from, or 32,220, 232,220, my bad. And that's up from 122,200. So DGB decided to take the down route yesterday, initially. And I was like, fuck this. I'm just going to add more at 1.3, whatever. I've added more down here on the round. And it's like, I'm just buying it because I feel like we're in the midst of a massive breakout. I don't know if we'll ever see these levels again, at least in the near future. If we do break out from here, I'm not sure the next time we're going to see these levels. When I started buying ZIL back, it was when it was under a cent because I'm like, well, what the hell? Now it's forcing me to buy 100,000. It forced me to buy 122,000. But then I said, as it was climbing up a little bit, I still wanted a little bit more. So I'm very happy to see it up at least 3.7%. It sure does, the focus. It sure does. And I'm not even sure that I'm done buying as many as I want. If I'm being honest, I really want to, I might up it. If it doesn't have a surge here in the next, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm not mad about how much I have because there's like $5 grand there now, I believe. Something like that. Is it something like that? Or I don't know how much it's worth now. I have no idea. I can't remember. But anyhow, for me with the ZIL and ZBUC, when I had ZBUC, I just had it sitting on crypto.com and ZIL. I just sent it over to my crypto.com account. You can find it on other exchanges, but I ended up storing it over in crypto.com because that's where I have my verified account. And then if need be, you know, I play a spectacular game when it comes to a lot of different things. So, but yeah, that's where I have that one. But anyhow, XRP, we're legitimately one layer away. You're welcome, Papaloo. We're legitimately one layer away from being able to discuss the fact that we're about to make a historic move. And that historic move, I mean, it's going to put you in all-time highs, but it's going to put you in a price range we've never seen. We've never tapped the $4 level in XRP's history, let alone the $5. So this, like that, when I say we're one layer away, all we have to do right now before we can feel like, oh my God, this is about to go parabolic again, because it is. It eventually here, and it's not going to take long probably. If we can overtake 265, we're going to go parabolic a lot sooner than it's taken in those last two cycles when it took us 3.5 years to go from the fourth to fifth wave. This is going to make it look like just a hop, skip, and a jump. And because I believe that XRP compared to the rest of cryptocurrency for the most part is in a super cycle, this next move will be equal to some of the other ones But instead of XRP just coming up here, this could be that opportunity where we could sniff $10 if, and this is a big if we can overtake the 2 resistance levels that will be formed on the technical moves here for technical traders. The first big one would be $5.49. The second big one would be $6.79. And that's in the scenario that everything panned out just perfectly, that we could hit and achieve that level in this next 5th wave. But it's going to take some kind of corrective within, so it'd be something like that. I don't, let's see. I think, if I'm not mistaken, let me just make sure. I have my phone. Let me just make sure, because I know, but I deal with a couple exchanges for different things. But I know, yeah, ZBCN, you can actually, let's see. Let me just make sure, because I don't want to give out bad information. So let's see, deposit. It would have to be, where's that? Okay, I think it's right here. Hold on just 1 second. Sorry, like I said, there's a lot that got a lot of stuff. So what I would do, this is just me. Oh, no, you can't do it on there right now. They paused it on that one. Let me see if it's on the other one still. The only one that I know of that could have offered you it that I used, but it looks like they might have paused the deposits for ZBAC. That's not uncommon for one like that, yeah. The only one that I knew of was LBank at the time, because I don't think you can deposit on, at least you couldn't before, but they do seem to work pretty quickly on BITUNIX. But I don't remember being able to, yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, so, yeah, you're just going to have to sell it either on the exchange you're on, or you're going to have to find something that I don't know. If I had ZBAC, I was having to take the hit on crypto.com unless I trade it separately on HOTCOIN, or not HOTCOIN, on LBank. Yeah, it looks like you're stuck with the uphold fees. It's okay. Sometimes you got to do it, but remember, I'll pay a 4% fee if I'm making 50, 60, 70, 100%. The 4% in or 3% in and out to make it 6 to 8%. I'll pay that all day, every day, as long as I'm making money. It's when you start losing money that you start to be like, uh-oh. I was trying to look. Oh, yeah. I wanted to look at one of, because somebody asked me about ZIL. And ZIL, even though you can trade it on BITUNIX, I know they won't let you send it. So you can't deposit ZIL from them. So, I mean, you can trade it there. But, anyhow. That's what it's looking at. So, our big thing, I mean, we're still looking, I think we're looking fine right now. We got to get over this little bit of, and I call it resistance, because that is the demand box. And, you know, I should probably just write this in here so I don't have to keep, I mean, I can keep saying it, but then I can be like, hey, look, there's the demand box. So, let's see. Yeah, why not, right? So, that's demand. This was also, well, I mean, this whole thing is demand coming all the way across, but, so, I mean, maybe at least now we'll be able to, can we remember that that's demand? I don't need both of them, I don't think. But I think we can remember that box is the demand box here. How about this? I'll stretch it out so then it's like covering the whole thing. This right here is the distribution box. This will look better on the TV when I do it in the mornings too. It'll be a lot clearer for everybody. So distribution. And then we've got a couple different supply zones, which will be easy to fill out because we can just clone them. And then I'll put this into the weekly so you can see this a little bit better. Oops, what did I do? Let's see. So this one would be the supply. So this is supply 3. Okay, supply 3. Let's see. Supply 2. For some of you, you're probably like, oh my God, this is so boring. But if you understand what I'm trying to do, well, not what I'm trying, but what I am doing, I think you'll appreciate this later. Because a lot of people had questions, and I probably should have did this before. Cape Cod Kyle, welcome in. Kyle Kupiak from Massachusetts, not Florida. I do know now. So that's supply 1. This whole box was supply 1. We had to break out of here before we ended up hitting in the first time in distribution. We also had a 5 wave that broke out of there. We came into here, started a fresh 5 wave, failed it because we had a much bigger move on 3, which shouldn't have overtook 1. Told us there was a fail, so we went into WXY, blah, 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 after we got done. Bam! We went to supply, came into distribution, right? Came into distribution. Every time we came in, besides the very first time we failed distribution, had come back down. Until now, we're actually showing support on the top of the distribution box for the first time in its history. Normally, when we came to distribution, we would flail out, to put it mildly. It's supposed to, oh, look at that. It's the only thing that sucks when you're in the higher time frames. You tend to do things like that, and then you mess it up. But that's how it should be, something like that. So it's rather intriguing when you start looking at these and you start to see how right now, not only are we trying to work out of the 4th into the 5th wave, we're actually trying to work back into that demand zone here in a very big way. And if we can get out of there and get into discovery, it would be unbelievable. It'd be unbelievable. It would send us to heights we've never seen before. And not just that. I think it would just make a case. It would make a case for XRP in a big way. In a very big way. And if we get up there, you're never going to see those lower levels again. You'll never see those lower levels again. So, and we're on a very real trajectory here, but we may never see it again. Brad Garlinghouse once said that it's going to be priced out for retail. Like the average person can't afford XRP. That doesn't mean they won't be able to buy one, but to end up making life-changing money. Like think about it this way. If you had $3,500 to invest in XRP back in 2021, you were getting 2023. Even in 2024, we had a chance. We were getting about 10,000 tokens. Now, it would cost you 25, 26 grand. To me, it's already priced out retail in that regard. Am I wrong? You guys are more than entitled to your opinion. I would love to hear, but in a sense, haven't we already priced out retail in a sense? So if we get through this demand zone here and we actually have the support, this would be the first time in 3 tries up here. First time we went up, had to come all the way back down. Second time we came in here now, we came down, but we consolidated in the distribution zone for the first time ever. The only other time we tried to consolidate into distribution, we failed and went into a WXY correction, in my opinion, 3 wave. And that, we hit resistance on the distribution box, ended up in supply 3. And now from supply 3, went right to demand, came into distribution briefly for support. Now we're heading right back to demand. If we get back into demand here, look out. Look out. And if we get in there and break out, it's one of those things. Ooh, you rolled your classic car. I hope you're okay, my friend. I never like reading something like that. Makes it even worse that it was a classic car. Is Scarlett already here? Okay. Okay. Let's see. So we see that. We know DGB's up 12.5%. I'm not sure we talked about it yet. I don't think we did. But DGB is starting to break out here. And if we get above this resistance, we're going to open up the door to that 1.5 cent mark. I know I've been talking about this since I was blue in the face. But DGB, when it happens quickly. And we've talked about the fact that we're building something pretty spectacular here. And I've long proclaimed, I think it's either going to be this or XRP Healthcare is going to end up being the biggest moves. Now, as far as because of investment size, I think this is going to be easily my biggest bag by the end of time. And I'm going to make a lot on XRP and already have. But I think this is going to be my biggest one. So left shoulder, check. Head, check. Right shoulder. I think we're starting to build something here. I think we're starting to build something. And the next big move would be up to 1.5 cents. But overall, you haven't seen nothing yet. If this plays out, you're coming up here, and it would either be the all-inspiring double top, or it's going to be the shake up. And oh boy, baby. Oh boy. I'm just saying, I've been part of DGB one time where it went up like godly amounts in a short amount of time. I've also been part of ZIL when it went up like 2,000% in 2 weeks. And I've been a part of XRP Healthcare when it went up from 1.7 cents all the way up to 50 something cents. So I've been a part of some big things. And I think we're going to do it again with DGB. I think DGB is going to do it again. And buying it from 0045 and having an average, I don't even know where the average is at this point. I couldn't care less. Probably somewhere around 007 at this point, with everything included. Probably 10 times lower if you count the buy and sells and being able to reposition in better ways after big runs. But be that as it may, if DGB touched 18 cents this cycle, I'm just saying, if DGB touched 18 cents, I have 2 million tokens, a little over 2 million. Yeah, I would be one happy person. You're talking about, what is that, $360,000? And it's got the testicular fortitude here to start making some kind of move. This is absolutely rising. 69 Mustang Coupe, I meant I sold it and rolled the... Oh! Okay, well that's better. That's better. Because you're rolling it into crypto as well. But no, I hear what you're saying. Tom, so big guys are calling $1, Tom. I mean, if it fails, we have that drop down. We have a fair value gap at $1.50, and that can extend all the way down to about the $1.27 range or so. And then if that breaks, there is a gap at 91. But that's if this doesn't pan out. If this gets rejected, absolutely. Absolutely. I've shown both angles, but today I've chosen to talk more the bullish side of town. But absolutely it could. It's just, it has to break down now. Now we've got the benefit of being able to see us starting to break out. Now, could this be early? Sure it could. And that I have kept that $1.50 there in case it falls back in. And then you see that 97 under the below that. Because I think that could be likely if we started breaking down. Now we would have to clear the distribution box, and if we came through there, we're going back into a full-blown bear market. So don't kid yourself. If we end up back in the dollar range, we're back into a very profound... Oh, DGB dollar? Oh, well, that's different. That's different. But for XRP, we don't want to go back down there because then we end up back in the third supply zone, and that could be interesting. But DGB at $1? Sure, I would love to see that. That's $2 million in my pocket. But I don't deny that DGB in time can get to $1. I don't. For now, this would be my expectation. If everything went right, we create... Remember, if we mimic XRP and create the Hank Hill ass, I did this for XRP 2 years before it happened. I did this on DGB years ago. Now I'm going to do it again. If it just mimics the Hank Hill ass and then comes up, you're talking about, even if it just comes up to the W formation, right? Up into this spot right here again. This is a heightened W. And then let's just say we come back around and finish off Hank Hill's ass. From right here, you're talking about a 12x. Not even, if you want to come here, you're talking about a 10x. So if you want to talk about my $20,000 is going to turn into 200 grand with Hank Hill's ass and we haven't even broke out, I'm telling you, when I say there's opportunity, I'm not just mincing words to make people happy. Nobody talks about DGB. Like, there's hardly anybody. So when I talk DGB like this, it might turn people off because more people would rather me talk this way about other tokens. But I'm a huge fan of DGB. I've been talking about it for over 4 years to my audience, and I freaking love it. I love it. But Hank Hill's ass is what's going to lead us to the promised land. It did with XRP. And what I mean by that, I did it on the market cap for XRP years before we drew out Hank Hill's ass. And it just so happens to be following this pretty nicely. And the next move up would be 255 billion for XRP. We've never seen those numbers before, ever. We've not seen that. That's 50 billion higher than we've ever seen. More than that, that's 60 billion dollars more than we've ever seen. Something is brewing at Algo. MasterCard and talks that the Algorand Foundation is stepping down. Interesting. That's good news. I like hearing news like that that might have people getting scared away from Algo. I'm not scared in the least with Algo. I think that could be a smokescreen. Algo is one of the other ones that's positioned with the Hank Hill ass, and I've got 30,000 tokens, 33,000 tokens of Algo. And I am not letting them go. It's not happening. So I think this is another one that shows that same deviation that could happen. IOTA is another one that is going to have that old cursed Hank Hill ass by the time this is done. And you can get with it, or you're going to get left behind with profits. But eventually all things meet. They're all going to happen eventually. We've seen this. We're going to see it eventually. We're going to see it eventually, I'm just telling you. And it's either you're going to hit it or you're not. It's either you're going to be with it or you're not. And some people are going to be very disappointed because they've seen this develop and they're just not going to take advantage of it. So it's gonna be interesting. It really is going to be interesting. Casper is at 1.7 cents right now. I mean, it's starting to round itself in a big way right now. It's really starting to round itself, and if I could ever get this chart back out. It broke out of this descending consolidation, and we knew once it broke out of that, it was going to be very volatile. And it's starting to make some noise here. It really is, because if you go from the bottom of this, at 0.007, you're talking about 119%. It had twice went about 240. So... But, I don't know, I'm going to have to cut this short, guys, because I have to go to a dual concert here tonight. We're about to eat, and Julie wants my help. So, one last thing, I seen a request for Canto, but I have to go. I apologize. It's not every day that you get to go to a orchestra concert for the two girls, and it's something that I'm looking forward to. Yeah, Canto's getting ready. Inverse left shoulder, inverse head, inverse right shoulder. This looks like it's getting ready. Canto might not be actually, it's not a bad play. I'm gonna have to look into this after I log off. This is not a bad play right now. I know it's up 35% or so from the bottom, but that's the inverse right shoulder fully performed now. This is fully set up. So if we just want to take a micro movement here, we'll go to the base of the cup, or I mean the base of this inverse head. Just to give us a little bit of a baseline. That's about a 30% move right off the bat. But this has a lot of ground to make up from before. I mean, it's going to get hot eventually, and it does look like it's rounding the bottom. Jason, thanks for... I think it was... Who brought this up? Was it Jason Dula? Or James Dula? my mind is but look, they got this. It looks like we're hooking. Looks like yep, James Dula. All right, James. It looks like we're starting to round this bottom. I'll update more on this. Eventually, though, we're going to have to come up here and meet this 200-day and see if it's still the resistance or see if it's the support. So there's a lot of volatility to the upside likely here. So thank you, everybody. Have a blessed day. I'll try to fit in something else later tonight.